Hello everyone, and welcome to another Rusty Chains video. I don't have a super hyped up intro and all for this one like I often do. This video is about some stuff that's a little bit more serious than we usually talk about here at Rusty Chains, and I didn't think it would be appropriate. Before we get into the heavy stuff, let's talk about our subjects of the day, Jesse McCree and his counterpart, Jesse McCree. The real McCree was a longtime game designer at Blizzard. His most notable roles were as a senior level designer on Diablo 3, and until recently, he was the lead game designer on Diablo 4. In between those games, however, Overwatch released in 2016. As a tribute to his long-standing tenure as a designer at Blizzard, McCree was immortalized in the game as a cowboy. However, 5 years later, in 2021, we found out that he was in fact very mortal. One of the most dominant stories of gaming news over the past few months has been the rampant sexual harassment and abuse at Blizzard during the last 2 decades. All of that is horrible and disgusting, and it shouldn't ever be tolerated anywhere. I don't want to come across as ignoring or disregarding the bulk of it, because it's important and should always be talked about, but for the sake of this video, I want to focus on a particular incident. The Cosby Suite. I'm sure many people with their ear to the gaming world have heard that term over the recent weeks. This was a hotel suite used by eventual World of Warcraft director Alex Afrasiabi at BlizzCon 2013. People familiar with the suite claimed it was used for networking, quote-unquote, at BlizzCon, and it was named the Cosby Suite because the carpet was similar to ugly sweaters worn by Bill Cosby. However, photos obtained by Kotaku showed that it was used more for partying and some inappropriate encounters with women. Now, in this photo... look at this. It's ridiculous. How fucked in the head do you have to be to buy a picture of a rapist for a shrine in your sexual harassment headquarters? Like, the fuck? Alright, sorry. Anyway, in this picture, which is now confirmed to feature at least one Blizzard HR staff member, by the way, we can see frequent Cosby Suite guest, Jesse McCree, right around here. The discovery that the Cowboys' namesake was involved in such activities, of course, got around, with some Overwatch League broadcasters even refusing to say the character's name during the streams. The real-life Jesse McCree was fired before long after that. Fast forward to yesterday, at the time of recording this video, and the Overwatch team released this statement in which they announced that the cowboy will no longer be called McCree. Now we're going to go through this statement and let's break it down bit by bit. We built the Overwatch universe around the idea that inclusivity, equity, and hope are the building blocks for a better future. They are central to the game and to the Overwatch team. Those ideals have certainly dominated the lore of Overwatch thus far, that's fair enough. As for being central to the team, however, that's a little harder to say. I genuinely do hope it's true, though. According to some statements from Blizzard staff, the Overwatch team has had very few incidents of discrimination, and has been a kind and supportive team, at least compared to the rest of Blizzard. How much merit that holds is up to you. Personally, the same way a few bad apples can spoil a bunch, I don't know if a few good apples can clean away the rot. Their statement goes on to say, as we continue to discuss how we best live up to our values, and to demonstrate our commitment to creating a game world that reflects them, we believe it's necessary to change the name of the hero currently known as McCree to something that better represents what Overwatch stands for. Now that's a lot of pretty standard PR speak at the start there. I'm sure there were many discussions of these events and what changes they hold for the Overwatch team, and for Blizzard as a whole. I'm very curious what they mean when they say the new name will better represent what Overwatch stands for. My initial reaction to this is that his name will be something with meaning rather than a normal name like, Steve or Tim or something like that. I saw a lot of people saying to rename him to Mercer, based on his voice actor, Matt Mercer. Initially, I really liked that idea because Matt Mercer seems to be a genuinely good person, but then I thought about it a little bit. He seems to be. Now that's not a dig at Matt Mercer. It's a statement of the fact that I don't know the guy. I've only seen what he shows to the world. That's the thing, we don't know these people. Do I think Matt Mercer is secretly an abuser in his off time? Absolutely not. I think he wraps himself in a blanket and paints miniatures for D&D. But we can never know anybody for sure. For that reason, Blizzard is better off keeping the name of a fictional character, well, fictional. Anyway, they continued, "We realize that any change to such a well-loved and central hero in the game's fiction will take time to roll out correctly, and we'll share updates as this work progresses. In the near term, we had planned to kick off a narrative arc in September supported with new story and game content, of which MCCREE was a key part. Since we want to integrate this change into that story arc, we will be delaying the new arc until later this year and instead launch a new free-for-all map this September. Going forward, in-game characters will no longer be named after real employees, and we will be more thoughtful and discerning about adding real-world references in future Overwatch content. This will help reinforce that we're building a fictional universe that is unmistakably different from the real world, and better illustrates that the creation of Overwatch truly is a team effort. Work on these updates is underway, and they are just a part of our ongoing commitment to honest reflection and making whatever changes are necessary to build a future worth fighting for. We know that actions speak louder than words, and we hope to show you our commitment to making Overwatch a better experience in-game and continue to make our team the best it can be." I won't lie, I thought this was, as RC member Chucky often likes to say,
a big nothing.
I saw this change as hollow, a simple move to save face amid Blizzard's constant ongoing scandals. This is a change. They'll commit to removing WoW's NPCs or renaming virtual cowboys, but they'd rather destroy evidence rather than face any trouble in real life. Hell, we know their final statement has a half-truth in it. That new free-for-all map went on the PTR and was about to be released back in July when the news of the suit broke, prompting Blizzard to remove it so as to not appear as though they were dropping a map to deflect. The response to this scandal is to give a piece of content that we would have already had if not for the scandal. And new narrative and content? I find that genuinely hard to believe, since Overwatch is in maintenance mode for the next year or two until Overwatch 2 comes out. Then I got to thinking and noticed something else while I was doing additional research. Both Blizzard management and Team 4 employees confirmed that management didn't ask for this change. Team 4 chose to make it. Now for those of you who don't know, Team 4 is the section of Blizzard that handles the Overwatch IP. That right there is the first time I actually saw the benefit of this change. The real Jesse MCCREE was an abuser, and well known enough at Blizzard that he was put into a game. Many people in the Overwatch team just must have met him at their time there. That's an unavoidable fact. So if they can now do their jobs more comfortably without having to see the name of an abuser every single day, that's a win in my book. This is also the first time, as far as I can tell, that Blizzard will actually face immediate financial consequences as a result of the lawsuit. There's dozens of voice lines where MCCREE's name is said across dozens of localizations. Those will all have to be changed, which means paying a lot of voice actors. There's all kinds of MCCREE merchandise. Lego, Funko Pops, Halloween costumes. Hell, I myself even have a MCCREE keychain. All of that merch will need to be replaced, repackaged, and rebranded. That isn't cheap to do, so even though it's small, if Blizzard takes a financial hit that way, I'm all for it. It is telling, though, that the developers and not management are the ones who made this change. Nothing more perfectly represents the last few weeks. People at Blizzard are desperately fighting to have a safe, happier workplace, while Blizzard management is scrambling to protect Blizzard management. So that about does it for today. The next video is on the way and won't be about as heavy a topic, I promise. Until then, don't forget to spread the happy and stay rusty.